Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst and most interesting and ridiculous dumb wombles I can find, and with any luck my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we've got with us Godless Granny.
Hello.
Seraphim Hyde.
Hello, lovelies.
Godless Scummer.
Oi, oi.
And Bad-Tempered Womble.
Hello. Let's do this properly, shall we?
You don't want to ever forever be associated with wombles.
Oh, I like wombles, but
Wombles are all right.
funny.
I just think you're very closely related to them.
Okay, I can't think about them without thinking of an insult, so never mind.
Right. First question is somewhat relevant. Question 581. What is the most expensive thing you've had eaten or seen eaten by a pet?
I've seen one trash a remote control one time, but that wasn't all that it's expensive.
It wasn't all that expensive, but the worst thing I ever saw one of my pets eat was my mother's birthday cake.
The most expensive thing I've seen them eat was my mom had a loose diamond, and one of her dogs ate it.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
Did you get it back?
We did. We got it back.
Was it a bit pooey?
No, we had it removed by the vet because it was cut to where it might actually hurt the dog. So
How big a
we
diamond
had
was it?
removed. It was a really small diamond, but we were just really worried about it because it was a small dog.
Wasn't that the plot of one of those
Snatch.
Guy Ritchie films? Yeah.
Exactly.
Snatch,
That's why I love that part of Snatch. It makes me laugh so hard just because of that part.
But don't they feed that laxatives?
Yeah.
I think we do, yeah.
One of my favourite bit of that film is just, I think, you got the guy there, he's a big tough gangster man, and the other guy's just, right, shoot the dog. He's like, it's a bit strong, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Vinnie Jones
Jones.
too. He was amazing in that movie.
Badger?
I'm pretty sure my friend's guinea pigs once chewed through their Ethernet cable.
That's pretty horrific.
That sounds tasty. Nom, nom, nom.
That reminds me of... the dogs here have eaten lots of things. We've lost remote controls. We've lost hearing aids. 150 quid hearing aid. One of them ate that. But see, are they technically a pet? We've had mice that have eaten the electrics. And we had a little fire in the wall. That was fun.
I mean, you technically do feed them, so they're kind of pets.
But they obviously weren't getting enough food if they weren't if they were eating if they were eating the wiring.
They do that anyway. They just like wires.
That's a good point, actually. The mice that live near my burrow, they are they're in the shed, and they were chewing through all the containers that keep the birdseed in. So I just decided to leave some birdseed on the floor, and they just eat that and stop chewing through the containers.
That would... I'm trying to think. We had... Do you know what? It might even be the most expensive thing I've owned that they've eaten, which was a £40 sack of dog food. And we went outside, and the only thing that was in the sack was a very, very fat dead mouse at the bottom.
Oh goodness.
I've had a cat get into the cat food and eat all of it before, but I think it was only like $30 for that type of cat food, so the diamond was still more expensive.
Manda said, my kitchen floor, when Leah was a puppy, came home to the entire thing being torn up.
I saw a picture of a dog. I think It was like a line on the floor, and the dog had found a seam and like chewed through the edge, pulled the whole thing up, and was using it as a blanket.
Yeah, ours have done that. Do you know what else is interesting? And this isn't eaten. They destroyed. We had chihuahuas, and they used to sleep in our utility room. And they destroyed. They basically, by pissing on it, destroyed the front end of a washing machine. Right, because they just kind of dribble on the thing, so you don't notice it, and it just rusted away the entire bottom.
So what happened? Did it just collapse?
Yeah, pretty much. It just kind of dropped forward.
That's horrible and hilarious at the same time.
They're small dogs, but they can build up stuff. all the time.
Many years ago, I used to have a Chihuahua. They can be very surprising what they're capable of.
Very much. I mean, like I said, we had.
Chihuahuas are vicious.
They are. They
Well,
make up for their size.
I will tell you this much, that our one, there were like Rottweilers and German Shepherds on our block, but they were all afraid of the Chihuahua. They were terrified of him.
At the time that we had 3 Chihuahuas, we had 2 Alsatians. One of the Alsatians was a properly trained guard dog, very vicious, and the Chihuahuas ran rings around him. And you put his meal down on the floor, and all of a sudden a Chihuahua would appear from nowhere, drag this bowl. They couldn't pick it up; it's huge. Drag this bowl to behind the sofa where the Alsatian couldn't get it, and then eat his food.
They're smart and they're vicious.
Oh, they were a pain in the bum. Right. Question 582. In a swimming pool, would you rather be the fastest person in the slow lane or the slowest person in the medium lane?
Slowest person in the medium lane.
Why?
I would get so pissed at being behind someone who's slower than me.
So you just want everyone to be stuck behind you?
Yes, fuck them.
You don't just want people to look at your bum.
I mean, I do have a nice ass, but they would have more time to admire it.
Uh-huh. Badger.
I'd rather not be in the lanes, to be honest.
In this scenario, you don't have a choice.
I'll be the slowest person in the medium lane, and fuck it.
Yeah, he can be like a couple people behind me and like just piss people off.
If I'm forced to be in the lanes, then I'll swim at my own damn pace. Thank you.
I tend to swim in the slow lane, but sometimes I do end up being like the fastest person in it. Very much depends.
So would you prefer to have people behind you or be behind people?
Behind people, I can sort of pace myself a bit. People coming up behind me is a bit of a nuisance. I used to do quite a bit of swimming, but I haven't for a while, obviously. So I actually miss it.
Mm. Kelly?
For me, it's definitely the fastest person in the slow lane. For one thing, that's closer to what I'm used to. I did triathlons. I spent 6 years training to do an Ironman. And so I did a lot of swimming.
Wait.
Now, when I raced...
Did you do the Ironman?
Yes.
Okay.
2012, I did it. And when I raced, it was usually in open water. I only did one or two races where we swam in a pool, so there were lanes. But I did a lot of training in pools. And my biggest irritation was never people that were slower. It was people that were cutting into the lap lane from the rest of the pool.
You're being used by the
But,
Daily Atheist.
See,
But I was always slow. When I raced against the course, not against the other competitors, because I knew that I was too slow. But racing the course is fun.
I've never been into races myself. I am.
But what about races
I
with
went
yourself?
No, I like to kind of push things a bit and exert myself, but I never time it. If I'm playing a game, it's very rare that I keep score, because that aspect of it kind of detracts from it for me. I get that for a lot of people it's a whole thing. You're achieving more each time and you're bettering your score, but for me, the keeping score aspect doesn't add to it. It takes away from it.
No, I don't think I could do it without keeping score to some degree. I mean, I remember practicing playing squash against a wall, and I still sit there and count. How many can I keep this up?
I suck at all sports, so I don't.
Oh, so do I.
I'm very, very good at like sports like football until I turn the PlayStation off. Yeah.
That would be the only way I'd be good at sports, is through either like any of my gaming consoles. That would be the only way.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a joke, like what does a Southampton fan do when his team's won the Champions League? Turn the PlayStation off.
So you're going to like it when they start introducing exoskeletons. So you can have one program to play.
It could be
I
interesting.
miss my PlayStation so much.
Oh, you've become a dog.
Yeah.
That was my old dog. We were on about dogs. Fortunately, he's no longer with us. But unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But
Such a cute little doggy.
He's all ears.
My Springer. Yeah. Big
Yeah,
flappy Springer Spaniel is.
Flappy. I used to be quite good at badminton, and when I say quite good, I mean I was perfectly serviceable to play in a small badminton club. I was not in any way a competitive badminton player.
The only game I was somewhat good at was volleyball, and then after I got older, my boobs got in the way, so I couldn't really play it all that much anymore.
I am really surprised at how many people in sports. But sorry, how many people in sports? That's really wrong. It's how many girls in sports blame their boobs for stopping.
Oh, I blame my spine.
Your spine.
It isn't.
Oh, I didn't stop. I still played. I just got hit in the face with them a lot when I was playing.
Your spine is metal and rigid, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
You are correct. And that's, it was through the triathlon that I first realized that I was having so much trouble, because I was keeping track of my scores. And as I concentrated on my running, my scores got worse and worse and worse. And I said, why am I getting slower, not faster? And then I had a problem with my back and went to the doctor. When they x-rayed my spine, I said, oh, that's why I'm getting slower and slower and slower. Because my spine was curving more and more. And I had gone from a 36-degree curve to a 50-degree curve.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I was just saying that development, though, your Seraphim, I thought that would have been ideal for like women's beach volleyball.
I'm nowhere near a beach, so it didn't help very much. And
Okay.
also, no one in my area at that time was into bigger girls, so.
You can play volleyball with me if you like.
As long as you keep talking to me, that's perfectly fine, sweetie.
Just distract her the entire time.
I'm okay with it.
That's my whole strategy.
Right, next question, I think. Question 583. It's an ever so slightly rhetorical question. How is anyone with any intelligence not an alcoholic?
Very carefully.
I wouldn't know how to answer that question, as you can tell.
I consider.
I swear I'm going to be by the end of this lockdown.
I consider.
I guess that means I have no intelligence.
Are you an alcoholic?
No, because I'm not an alcoholic.
Well, my point is that why aren't people that are intelligent alcoholic when they see the things around us that are hideously wrong and that no one seems to want to fix them?
I don't consider myself to be that intelligent, but even if I was, I just couldn't afford the alcohol needed for it. I have too high of a tolerance.
That's the point
I don't particularly consider myself exceptionally intelligent at all, but maybe I would be a bit more if I didn't drink quite so much and kill so many fucking brain cells. I don't know.
I considered becoming an alcoholic, and then I went down the shop and looked at the prices, and went, "Oh, fuck that." So I don't not drink. I generally have a couple of drinks at a gaming event on Friday evening, and that's kind of the extent of it.
Sammy's answer is weed. That's why.
Yeah.
I want to try weed. I've never tried it, and I want to try it, but it's not legal in my state.
It's not legal here either. I drink when other people are paying because, again, I can't pay for that shit. It costs too much.
We had the brownies a while ago. That was fun. The brownies, with the special herbs.
What?
I wish I could have some of those, but again, it's not legal here, unfortunately.
I prefer a nice good smoke of that rather than a brownies, to be honest.
But that's because you smoke
brownies. The
Yeah.
problem with the brownies was that you can't so accurately gauge.
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
We invented some weird stuff, and there was one guy who couldn't have any, so he was just kind of there sitting in the corner watching, like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? What are these weird things up to now?
I think it's a bit weird with something that gives you a predisposal to eat to make things that are edible. It's a bit of a self-defeating cycle.
I heard a story actually.
I'm hungry.
I read a story about someone who they had what is the active weed ingredient again?
THC.
Yeah, they had THC infused lube.
Right.
Which apparently you need quite a lot of to have much effect because it doesn't absorb well there.
It's mostly for the novelty for people who are 80s, like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah, but the person kind of like ate it.
Smart.
And apparently there's it's extremely potent if you do that. And they were high for like 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
That's disturbing. Here you go. Jones says, what's wrong with good antidepressants?
Not everyone can afford them.
I haven't found one that works.
No.
That too.
They can be very difficult to come off of as well. Well, so can
And they
alcohol.
have some really weird side effects too.
I've come up with lots of methods for dealing with it. Me and a friend of mine, was going through a bit of a messy breakup, so we would be talking on Discord while watching Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd sit there and watch Rick and Morty together over Discord.
I recently did that with horrible movies.
That was great up until the episode where Rick goes through a messy breakup.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think every series you watch is going to have at least one of them.
Yep.
Bull says, weed is better than drinking, no hangovers. That doesn't really answer the key point. None of this really answers the key point here.
The point there is if you have any intelligence, you would be an alcoholic. That you'd have to drink to forget it.
The point is not... the point is that how badly we're doing at fixing the problems. And the assumption is you're intelligent, you see the problems.
Either they've just never drunk before and they don't know, or like me, they have a high tolerance, or they can't afford it, or they're just intelligent enough to know that this is a dumbass idea. It doesn't work. It won't help.
Yeah, but what will? Point. That's the point.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No,
help
what
in the
will?
long run.
What will? I don't know. I think
it differs from person to person.
I mean, you
I'm
get
highly
it.
medicated.
That's the problem a lot of people have, where they're intelligent enough to see a lot of the stuff that's wrong, but you don't have the mental capacity to find solutions.
No.
Because the solutions require like massive global collaboration and you are one person.
Yes.
Well, but to quote Homer Simpson, alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
I like to
Disturbing.
quote Homer Simpson. There's one quote that I particularly like by him, which is, "If it tastes good, it must be good for you."
I'm working on my Homer Simpson-sized belly. Following that logic.
Yeah, I think I've already surpassed him. I'm catching up Cartman now.
If you
Technically,
start,
alcohol
if you
is the
start,
solution, so
I think the problem is you have to stop caring. Ultimately, one way or another, you can't
I think
sleep
the
at
one
night.
I think the one person that's come the closest to trying to unite people behind a global problem is Greta Thunberg.
But she's also united a lot of people against her. I completely agree
True.
with you. But she has united on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
usually the
not.
people that are against her are people that are sorely uneducated, though. Most cases,
Mm-hmm.
not all of them.
They're either
Oh, yeah.
uneducated or in it for something else.
Or,
Exactly.
Or incels.
Like a lot of the people in my area hate her guts.
The thing I have with her is I agree with her on a lot of the actual issues, but I think that in many ways her approach is not the best.
Don't incels hate all
I
women
agree with
anyway?
you, Badger.
I don't know what the best approach would be, and I think it's good that she's actually trying, but I think that certain elements of it have been counterproductive.
Yes.
I think if she used a different approach, though, she wouldn't be able to get as much attention.
That is also pretty true.
Oh, this is the problem. I think this is the general problem we have right now. There are no good solutions. There are no good ways of solving any of the problems we've got. We need to try some bad solutions to try and work out what we can do. And we need to try
Well, they don't want
different
to try
solutions.
solutions because trying solutions means changing things, and you change things, you fuck things up how they are now, and it no longer works, and you lose all the money you sunk into the current things.
They're not.
Mhm.
This is the thing that they're not even. As I said, they're not even trying solutions to that problem. Realistically.
There's no money in it until like further down the line. So no, they're not going to put anything into solutions that she's talking about.
Well, it's short termism, wasn't it? Always the way.
Exactly.
I have not in any way been able to work out even a viable way of solving short-termism.
I like what Santi the Sane said. I'm a social drinker. The problem is I live in a society.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
still want to know if Santi thinks I sound better or worse than they thought I would.
Purple says often we see the solutions but have no way to get enough people coordinated to act on them, which is what we said already. Mama says because people are arseholes. They're going to hate anyone who stands up for change. Fuck them all.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that
Preach on, Mando.
I've become more and more of the opinion that I can't think about a lot of the issues wrong with the world very much, because if I do, I very easily become depressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is the heart of this question.
I don't tend to drink much more when in those instances. I just get sad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So
get sad when I drink.
So
You
I
do
I know one
eventually,
person
it's
who's
depressing,
yeah, I have to
I know
shut my
one
brain off.
person whose solution was to turn off the news and just stop listening to what the world's problems are.
A lot of
I think
people are
this is what I
doing
said.
that, though. A lot of people are completely disconnecting from the news because it's nothing but bad news currently.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, I can't blame them.
Well, remember a few years ago when that thing happened.
Which one?
You'll find out in a sec. So I was sitting at home. I was reading like a gaming website, and on this gaming website there was a headline that said the UK is gripped with riots.
Uh-huh.
I got up and went and looked out the window like, is it? And then I figured out that they equate London with the whole UK.
Right. Firstly, it wasn't just London.
No, yes.
And secondly, if they have to bring police in from the rest of the country, it is the whole country. Because the rest of the country is unpoliced. The problem is there's everything...
logicking my joke.
Sorry. Right, we should go to the next question.
Ruin a perfectly good joke with facts, Dave. I don't know.
I know.
Poor Badger. Just his joke ruined.
I spent all that time setting it up, and then you logic my punchline.
And then in a way.
I'm gonna become an alcoholic now.
I'm sure it's gonna be very hilarious, Badger.
I said the punchline.
He said the punchline.
Yeah.
Right. Question.
Literally.
What?
Logic my punchline.
I did. Question 584. Would you rather date a sex addict or a virgin? I put in bracket once.
Do I want to date another sex addict? Oh, sure, that'd be fun.
That's easy. The virgin.
Well, but see, the easy answer there is to say sex addict, but I don't know because I don't think I could keep pace. I'm not that motivated by sex, honestly. So,
Badger?
I am, so it'd be great.
I don't know. I don't know this one because I'm not a particularly touchy person. All the time, I tend to. I keep myself to myself mostly. If it was a kind of like a polyamorous thing, then the sex addict would probably be great fun. But,
I'm not that touchy either, but I do whenever it comes to that. That's like
Yeah.
one of the few times I am touchy.
But in an exclusive relationship, I think I would really struggle because I need a lot of alone time.
Fair enough.
I'm similar with that. I am very similar in that respect.
Let me think of a funny way of expressing this point.
So in that case, I just want your voices in that case.
You nodded fall off. Let's go with that.
You people are terribly sensible.
We'll just get Badger to do like a soundboard or something, Seraphim. You'll be fine.
Well, if you get me some more erotic, apologist-based fan fiction, I will do dramatic readings of it.
I could write you
Killed
some,
everyone.
hell.
Well, there is supposed to be a whole bunch of fan fiction coming, but
Yeah, I will do the voice when it arrives.
Can you do an
I'm
Irish
so
accent?
looking forward to that.
Well, I was going to get Liam Neeson.
I want to hear your Irish accent.
I'm not sure you do.
I do.
Alright, team from Ireland, and now you have potatoes.
well, you had to say potatoes as well.
Potatoes
I couldn't
is
ask
the
him when
word
Bappig
that-
was here.
Potatoes is the word
I
I
don't
use
need
to
him
get
to
into
do
the
He was in the chat, you know.
I don't need him to do an Irish accent. I just need him to talk like himself. I'm perfectly fine with that.
You know when you're trying to do an accent and you have a specific word or phrase that you use to get into that accent.
Yeah.
It's potatoes for Irish.
You have to put "we" in every sentence.
Do
I
you?
have to do that to turn on my deep Southern accent, so I completely understand.
I'm trying to think what other.
I don't know what y'all talking about. So I can't,
That was horrible.
I can't do that.
A for effort, but that was horrible.
If I'm doing the more sort of upper class British, I tend to open by going yes.
Actually, you sound upper class British. As it is.
If I'm trying to do a less, more colloquial and coarse British, I open with "you fucking what?"
That sounds
My
more
thing
like
to
mine.
turn on my Southern accent is, "Hey y'all."
And now you got Badger excited. Right,
I mean, I would gladly have a conversation with him just talking Southern if he would talk to me. I'm just saying.
Well, I can overdo. Oh, I used to play on a Team Fortress 2 server that was based in Texas. And I joined the server. I was like, hello, my colonial friends. Team Scone is what it was. They all go, oh my god, it's a British guy.
Apparently you've just been hit with a newspaper. Badger.
Oh no.
Go on.
One thing that was funny when my parents lived in Georgia, one year we went to the 4th of July celebration baseball game, and every year it was always sponsored by British Petroleum. I thought our Independence Day is sponsored by the Brits.
Well, I thought it was really
Are
bad,
you the
actually.
only one that thought that was hilarious?
How can British Petroleum sponsor a sports game? Surely everybody would slip on all the oil they spilled everywhere.
I find it really funny that. How long ago was that?
Oh gosh, probably 12 years ago.
You see, 12 years ago, British Petroleum is an American company now.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was the fun thing about the oil spill. Because they all the media said, this the British should do this, the British should do this is all their responsibility because this is BP. The BP was bought by one of the big American oil companies. It's completely American.
Okay.
Have it.
America.
They didn't change the name though, did they? They had to blame other people.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
We're good at that.
Maybe they thought that the name sounded fancy, so they're like, you know what, this here's a fancy name, we're gonna keep it.
Yeah, it's bought by Amoco, I think.
Oh, okay.
What other accents do people do? What am I talking about? Accents, the words that people use to get into different accents.
Oh, I only know the ones that what's his face Jimmy Carr used to use.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember them. They're the ones I knew.
Dave, I will say though, Dave, they are still headquartered in London, so.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is that so they can remain being posh or avoid tax?
Yeah,
I can.
haven't no clue.
I think it's both and neither.
And neither.
Yeah.
Never
I
admit to
can
anything.
kind of do a Scottish accent, but I don't have like a coherent way of getting into it, so I've got to like build up to it.
Go on then.
That's where we need Tatty right now.
You need to wait a while. I've got to build up to it.
Then come back to it on the next question.
Yeah.
I can't do Badger. I can't do Scottish, and I was born in Scotland.
Oh goodness.
Can't you tell from his broad Scottish accent? How the hell did you end up with that one?
All right.
Because I've lived on the south coast for most of my life.
Yeah, but most of the people on the south coast don't have that accent.
You haven't been to Hampshire that much, have you, Dave?
I've lived in Hampshire.
This is a Hampshire accent.
No, it's not. I lived in Fleet. They sound much posher than you.
Yeah, you're the posh end of Hampshire, yeah. not proper carrot crunchers.
Right, next question. Question 585. What's the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you in a hotel?
I became Scottish. Suddenly I was very into battered sausage and depression.
You wee little gobber.
That's all I can do now.
I'm fairly certain someone's going to make you suffer for that.
Yeah, probably.
Where's Tatty when we need him?
He'll appear to slap me about eventually.
Yeah. Baby girl, like, hey, you wee little dobber.
What was the question? It was the weirdest thing to happen to you in a hotel room?
Yes.
Oh shit. Someone fell asleep on me while watching Star Trek Voyager.
Was this the girl?
No, it was a different content, a different thing.
How many people do you watch Star Trek Voyager with?
as many as I can. Star Trek Voyage is a good show. I try to encourage everyone to watch Star Trek Voyage. Yeah?
He's not wrong.
My husband and I have been going through that on Netflix.
My mum's been watching it recently.
Has she?
Yeah.
Is she normally
I
into
should add
sci-fi?
that to my watch list. I need to rewatch
No,
it.
I find it dull. I'm sorry.
no, but she likes Star Trek.
Fair enough. Was that because it's not sci-fi?
It demonstrably is sci-fi.
I had an experience in a hotel room where I was sort of floated out of my body once and was like flying around the room.
Did you take it?
I probably should mention that this was in Amsterdam, just for the record. But yes, so draw your own conclusions.
I think
It felt real.
It was some certain truffles and a bit of the, should we call it, a chocolate love muffin. Yes. Yes, I think. Yeah, so that was pretty intense. That was very intense.
Fair enough. Kelly?
I'm trying. I can't think of anything that's funny. The only thing that's kind of weird, and it's not funny, but it was, at least it had a happy ending. Was the time we were at a wedding. We went to a wedding, and my cousins were in the room next to us, and my oldest cousin. There's 4 girls in that family, and the youngest is moderately mentally retarded, and she was about 8 years old at the time, and we were all leaving, but we'd walked out of the room and she was still in the room and the door closed, and my cousins had forgotten their key, and Karen, the youngest, was still inside the room, and they're trying to talk her into how to turn the handle and open the door. And it was, she had the physical strength, she had the size, but they were trying to explain to her, you have to grip it. You have to turn it. And eventually she did get it, though.
As a completely unrelated thing, but of a similar idea, have you seen the video of the toddler that is locked in a car?
No.
Right, the keys are in the middle of the car. The keys are in the center, by the. Oh, I don't have. I'm going to say by the handbrake, but you don't have.
Yeah.
Right. But they're in the middle of the car, and there's a guy. There's a I think the father with a stick, poking the stick through the window to try and get the keys, because the kid won't pass the keys or won't unlock the car. So the dad is trying to. He's got the stick and he's got it close to the keys, and he drops the stick, and the stick drops into the car, and the toddler climbs over, picks up the stick, and passes it back through the window.
I actually want to try that thing that the late great Bill Hicks proposed once as an experiment, and just phone up a hotel reception desk and say I don't appear to have a Bible in my room, and just set a trap to see if I can actually capture a Gideon.
I remember that routine. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I actually think that might be a viable scientific experiment, just to see, just to see if Gideons actually exist.
So what's the book? Oh, it's Gideon's Bible. Oh, he
Yeah.
follows me everywhere, that bloke.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This would
the
actually
hotel
pick one of
don't
those
you get left behind there as well.
I've only been in one hotel room that did not have a Bible, and unfortunately, the people that I was with would not let me call and ask if they would bring me one.
Ike says hotel rooms are a known cause of happy endings. He also says
I'm falling in my eye.
no, we've got a name. It's Ike.
My eye.
He said, at SATCOM school, I was moved from the barracks to officer senior NCO quarters with a sergeant first class E7 for 4 months. It was a lovely room, but super uncomfortable. Why would that be an upgrade? I don't get that story. How's that weird? And the weirdest hotel I stayed in was when I was about 17. I was much more innocent. And all I could hear for about 4 hours, from about midnight till 4 a.m., with doors opening and closing and people talking. And I can't imagine what they were up to. Apparently Mathpig has met a real Gideon.
I've met a couple of them.
Apparently he has.
I need proof, Mathpig. I think they're mythical creatures.
We need footprints, we need hair samples, blood samples,
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, I'm not.
I would.
I'm not convinced that they're not mythological beings.
Is that the
Like
Gideon
leprechauns?
card, or is it like a specific family?
So
I
apparently Gideons
wasn't
are
going to make
Bigfoot.
that. I wasn't going to make that comparison to like an Irish person chat with leprechauns, but if you wish to do that,
I'm assuming they're Bigfoot.
I met a genuine Duke Nukem one.
Did you?
Yeah,
I highly doubt that.
I met the voice actor.
Cool.
That's not from the original.
You know, I met the voice actor who played Duke Nukem. He was a fun guy. He was great fun.
What the hell? Mathpig says, my tyre blew out and he stopped to see I was okay and left a New Testament in my car.
did you know this is the thing? I can actually believe that. I actually can
Well,
believe they
did
do
he
that.
put it in the
I
glove
would not be
box?
surprised.
Did he put it in the glove box?
I'm assuming he left it on the driver's seat.
Oh, that's insane. Don't they just
you
have
know-
a car full of them?
But the thing about it is, if it's a Gideon, he probably did leave it in the glove box.
Yeah.
How many ills can we blame the Gideons for?
All of them.
All of them.
Right.
I have quite a nice Bible.
I think
actually.
we could definitely blame them for a lot of intelligent people turning to alcohol. I think we should do that.
Yes, see, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's
Right.
all their fault.
Next question.
I've never been into the Gideon.
So you don't want my answer at all?
Did you
I'm
not?
hurt.
I can't believe I missed you. You're going to have the best
You
answer.
Did.
You're taking Manda's place today, Seraphim.
Yeah.
She's looking you out.
Oh, she thinks I've
Apparently
got.
I have.
She thinks I've got
Yeah.
something against girls because I keep missing them out. But I think it's more that the guys tend to shout a lot more.
I think it's just that he doesn't want to hear my answers because
Oh.
most of them are going to be weird.
Oh, come on. The guys shout a lot more. How many times have you had Jen in here? Come on, Dave.
I don't shout. I just forget that I'm supposed to filter myself.
Mathpig has
That makes it
literally
fun.
just sent me a photo of the Bible.
That's very nice of him. I've already mentioned mine before anyway.
Go on.
I hooked up with the maintenance guy at a hotel.
Did you?
All right.
Yes, like whenever I checked in, like I saw him a couple times, and he finally slipped me his phone number, and I ended up in the utility closet with him, and he got kicked out because his boss wanted him to go fix stuff. And
You're aware you
Yeah,
have a
I
you
know.
where you have a room in a hotel.
I was, but apparently he wasn't allowed to go in the rooms unless he's fixing stuff. And
He was fixing
it was-
something.
Yes, he was helping me with my pipes, but
Tell the boss
Well,
he was
that was an easy thing there. Just phone up the desk, say
Also-
something's broken, and like get him to come
also.
in.
It was a lot
Also,
hotter.
he had a bit of a thing about voyeurism, so we were hitting that nerve of his. that voyeurism
It
thing,
was a lot
so-
hotter in the utility closet.
Exactly, it was a lot hotter for him. So
I see.
I have no shame usually, so we're good.
Right. Next question.
That sounds like good fun.
Yes.
Exactly. See?
Question 587. Do you have any irrational prejudices
Portsmouth fans count
or rational ones?
again. Portsmouth fans. Does
Is that rational
count?
or irrational?
I haven't quite
Rational.
decided.
I have a rational prejudice that Disney is terrible.
I knew that was coming.
What makes you think that's a rational prejudice? The whole company,
You've seen
tens of
Disney,
thousands of people, and
I
you're
have a
prejudiced
rational
against all of
prejudice
them.
with People who will not listen when someone tries to tell them something when they call into customer service.
Sorry, Seraphim, what you're saying?
Exactly.
I mean, serious answer to this question. I probably do have prejudice. Sometimes I think you can be unaware that you have a prejudice sometimes until it's shown to you.
I'm sure I do. I just can't think of anything right now.
I can't think of anything off the top of the head, but I suppose though, in a certain way, I am very tempted to dismiss certain people because of perhaps other ideas or whatever they've come up with, like, I don't know, flat earthers or something like that.
Yeah.
They might be right about something completely unrelated or something.
But you're prejudiced against them.
I might have this tendency to think you're a fucking flurf. What do you think? You know, what the hell do you know? But they might be right about something that's completely unrelated to that particular topic. But it can be, you can easily fall into that.
I think that's a prejudice that is very difficult to avoid.
Yes.
If you develop that thought about a group or a person that they're,
and the problem is, again,
because you disagree with them on some topic, then it's difficult to find common ground.
Well, again, you can't. You come back to your 150 people. Anyone outside of your 150 people, you have to stereotype. You have to group together. You have to find some meaningful way.
Mostly agree with Amanda. She says she is prejudiced against Republicans. I am a lot.
And Southerners.
I'm used to Southerners because I am a Southerner.
She says,
I have enough self-hate already, so I don't need to add to that for being a Southerner. But at least Amanda likes me. I'm happy.
Mathpic says, rational prejudice when some people misuse laws of thermodynamics. Sammy says...
That's getting into the flat earth thing again, isn't it?
It is. Sammy says, loud eaters. Not sure if that's rational or irrational, but death to loud eaters. Ike says, I answer with skin colour is never a reason for prejudice. Chosen culture always is. You don't choose your circumstances, but you choose how you'll handle your life and culture. It is the one of those disturbing things that, again, you have to group people together based on something.
I think
and that means...
For some
Do
people,
you choose your culture, though, seriously?
Some people do,
you can.
But for many
you can do, but...
You don't initially, obviously.
You don't initially, no. And it can be very difficult to break from something you've been brought up in.
Some people have an opportunity to choose a new culture, but many don't.
No.
Mm-hmm.
They're not ever exposed to a new culture.
Yeah, it could be very, very frightening. How often do we hear these sort of deconversion stories of that, of people being very, very afraid to leave their religion, or let alone come out openly about it.
That came out last night in my stream. There was someone in the chat.
I'll watch that later. I'll watch that later. Okay, I'll promise you.
Well, it was an invitation to trolls, and we were gonna entertain the trolls, but not a single one showed up. But there was someone.
They never show up when you want them to, ever.
Yeah.
I said some trolly things in the chat.
Yeah.
You did, but you're not a troll.
Granny,
we knew we serious.
But you're a fun troll.
Yes, you're
Granny,
a fun troll.
There's one you can say his name 3 times and he will appear. I won't refer to him by name on this.
Oh,
stream.
I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah.
And
Asshole
Chris
104.
tried that.
Asshole
Chris
104.
tried that. Yeah, it didn't work. But anyway, what I was getting to is there was somebody that showed up, and the conversation turned rather serious when he showed up, because he's in a very religious country, and he expressed that it sounds like he doesn't really believe the religion, but he's having a hard time letting go of the idea that he might be going to hell. And so we talked about how to free yourself from those thoughts.
I mean that I've often heard that a lot from people who coming out of religion or whatever, that like fear of hell is something that is very deep rooted. If they've had that drummed into them from an early age,
Yeah,
Mhm.
one of the last things to go.
I mean,
It's
if you
one
want
of-
someone
yeah.
to come in and tout a bunch of religious bullshit, I still remember a lot of the religious bullshit I was taught. I can do that for you.
I view it that I'm going to hell in every single religion on earth. So
You're going to get divided
Yeah.
up.
yeah,
Yeah, I still have it occasionally from the old Church of England. And they're not particularly fire and brimstone-y, but they can still,
No.
no, yeah, they can be bad, and they're a little bit more light.
Yeah.
And they're lighter.
Well, we have
compared to the competition, but
we tend to describe it as high C of E rather than the casual C of E, and the high C of E seems to be pretty much as bad as the Catholics.
I was raised Southern Baptist. I still kind of fight with some of the beliefs that I was taught back when I was younger.
How old's the Earth?
I was told it was 6,000 years old, but fuck that shit. No, that's wrong. Or rather, I was told not to ask about it because it's not important. God does not want you to ask those questions. He wants you to ask the right questions.
that's when you know you're dealing with fucking dishonest people who know better. They say that to you.
Oh, they hated me. Like, I stopped believing at a young age.
I wasn't that smart.
So I just told them and asked a bunch of dumb questions.
It's a lot harder when you're surrounded
by. I will say
by
that. Like, I got. Yeah.
Do you go to public school?
Me, yes.
I
I have found out that I was sorely uneducated, and actually, my school was supposed to be the last school that had segregated proms. Actually.
Mm.
Wow.
Was that while you were there?
At the school?
Yeah.
No, the school wasn't segregated. Just the proms were. Like, everything, like prom, like we had 2 prom queens, we had 2 most likely to succeed, 2 homecoming queens. I thought that was normal until I got on the internet and like started seeing that nowhere else did that.
That's not good.
I
Brainbug.
I thought it was bullshit, but
Right, Brainbug says conspiracy theorists. To which Mama Atheist says, "Oh yeah, them assholes too."
What was the question again?
Do you have any irrational prejudices, or rational ones? Ilya says, "I'm not prejudiced against uncontrollable factors like race, sexual attraction, etc., even religion, but I do judge based on behaviour." Brainbug says, "Anti-vaxxers boils my blood."
I do have possibly an irrational fear, actually.
I have lots of irrational fears.
Well, so do I, but there's one that's in my mind at the moment. Which
Spiders.
Is,
they all need to die.
no.
Die now.
I like
All of them.
spiders.
No.
Is my main.
spiders can be adorable. Though.
No, they can't. They need to die. All of them.
But I do not like chimpanzees.
Do you not?
No.
Why not?
Because I've seen a couple of pictures and videos of people who have been attacked by chimpanzees. And so now my brain associates all chimpanzees with that.
Do you want to know what's interesting?
They can be vicious as shit.
Do you want to know what's interesting about spiders? I did
They're
not.
fun and friendly.
No. I didn't used to be afraid of spiders.
What happened?
It was watching my sister. My sister was very afraid of them, and watching her responses to them.
I am so glad I didn't get that. My brother's terrified of crickets.
Do you come across them in the house often?
Crickets here, yeah.
Yeah.
And spiders.
I do have a couple of friends who have got the proper arachnophobia.
I basically live in the middle of the woods right now, so there's a fuck ton of everything.
Outstanding. I do like a good live in the woods.
Good live in the woods.
You to come visit me?
I'd be happy to live in the woods if it wasn't for all the spiders.
I could come visit you, Seraphim. You only live a few hours away from me.
So if we drive a few hours...
I live a couple of hours, like a few hours from Mama Atheist, too.
Yeah, so...
By your logic, I live near everyone in the UK.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, well, if you drive too many hours, you fall off.
Off the edge of the earth?
I mean, I technically live in a different country to Math Pig, and he's only about 120 miles away.
Oh, gosh.
I used to live further in the middle of nowhere, and I actually had an hour and a half drive to work one way. So I'm
See, that's
okay with like
insane.
long drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
When we've got an hour, we
I wouldn't
plan.
take a job that was more than a 20-minute drive away.
We
And whenever I
plan.
took care of my brother, it was an hour and a half drive from where I work to go take care of my brother. So
We plan when we're going to go shopping because the city centre is half an hour away.
yeah, that's what we had to do. Whenever we went shopping, we had to plan it because it was like an hour and a half to like the closest.
Yeah, that far away, we wouldn't go shopping.
But now I live closer. I live closer to the city. Like I live in the middle of the city, but I live in an area that's basically wooded area, so it's
If it
amazing.
was an hour and a half to go shopping, I would order online every time.
Yes.
They didn't deliver.
Then we'd
They
starve.
still don't deliver to my hometown. Like my hometown gets delivery from nothing but basically like Amazon and eBay.
Oh, I was gonna say a thing. What was it? My brain's
Was it about
exploding.
prejudices?
No, well, it's linked to. I can't remember what it was. Never mind. Fuck it.
I would say I have both irrational and rational ones. I would
I do have a prejudice.
go on.
I'm prejudiced against paragraph role players.
What are paragraph role players?
In online roleplay, there are two distinct groups of role players. There are people who roleplay in quick sentences back and forth, and people who roleplay in long paragraphs back and forth. The long paragraphs, you will typically have 15 to 20 minute typing gaps between them posting their thing. And I have literally fallen asleep, woken up again, and left before they've replied to me.
Badger gets me. I agree. That like they
Are you
say
sure?
nothing.
You're not critical of the paragraph players. You're critical of typing speed.
No, the paragraph players, they take forever to type, and like their stuff says nothing. It's mostly just fluff.
I didn't need a fucking paragraph of introduction for you to say hi to me.
My thing is, it took someone like 5 paragraphs once to knock on the fucking door. I'm like,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, I'm just there like, okay, well you've used up all the time I had to roleplay by walking to the door, so we're done now. Good night. It's fucking 4 a.m. and you still haven't actually got to talk to me yet.
Right.
I should probably respond to my roleplays, actually, now that I think about it.
It sounds like you should roleplay with Badger. Bring handcuffs.
I do have a pair.
Yeah.
Both of them.
We can take turns. It'll be fun.
I've got some nice fluffy handcuffs that hang from the side of my wardrobe, and I hang my headset on them.
I have a pair of I have a pair of police handcuffs, and I also have a pair of the fluffy ones too.
Leather handcuffs are better.
I don't have the leather ones. My ex-boyfriend took those.
Oh, that's cruel. Cruel.
It is. He neglected me, and then he took my fucking handcuffs, bastard.
Right. Next question.
What on earth's the context of this? I'm sorry.
We're talking about irrational prejudices.
Okay.
We are prejudiced
sort of feel,
against people that steal handcuffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just sort of heard handcuffs. I'm unfamiliar with the context. I'm rather innocent about a lot of this stuff.
Oh, you poor sweet child.
Why? What context do you use handcuffs in?
Generally, if I'm getting arrested or something.
Does that happen often?
Not so much these days.
These days. Right, need to ask a question another day about getting arrested.
Actually, no, truth be told, I've never been arrested.
Oh!
I've never been arrested, but I've been in handcuffs plenty of times.
I've been
Until he
I've been
asks the
punched by a
question.
cop. I've been punched by a fucking cop before.
Oh
But
goodness.
Wow.
Right, next question. Question 588. If you could quantum leap into any other person, who would you leap into, and what would you change in their life?
I'd leap into Dr. Sam Beckett and I'd try and get him home.
If you did that, he wouldn't be able to solve the big problem at the end.
Well, he wants to get home.
He doesn't. He wanted to help. He wanted to help out.
He wanted to get home. He's always hoping the next leap would. Did you ever watch that series?
Did you watch the last episode?
I did, yes.
Right, he had the option. He could have gone home.
Yeah, he helped out.
He chose
yeah.
to say to go and change Al's life instead.
And then he never. He just. All we know is he never returned home.
Yeah.
But he did want to go home.
Until then,
You know.
he had the option. He chose not to. That doesn't answer the question. He also isn't real.
And you might be talking to him right now. You don't even realise.
That's entirely true. Did you jump in here to sabotage the quiz?
Yeah, the real scummer might be waiting in the waiting room somewhere and talking to Gushy and.
Yes. So who would you jump into?
I might have leapt into maybe Boris and like sabotaged the last fucking election as much as possible.
Oh, I like that
gives me
answer.
my answer.
And gotten Jeremy elected. That's what I would have done.
That gives me my answer. I would quantum leap into Brian Kemp, and I would make him admit that he fucking lost the election.
Who the hell is that?
He's the governor of Georgia.
Ah.
Yeah, she's right.
There was a big thing about him basically cheating to win the vote, and he wouldn't admit it, and he basically got the vote from being a lying sack of shit.
He also was in charge of who was able to register to vote, and he prevented a lot of people from registering to vote that weren't going to vote for him.
Precisely. So he basically cheated his way into winning the vote instead of Stacey Abrams, who should have won it.
Shit.
Yep.
Right, Ike says, Jesus to see what the hype was about. And what if I could have saved him from the cross?
Basically been like, no, fuck you, Dad.
No. I have a theory here. Somebody did quantum leap into Jesus because if you die in there, it's the leaper that dies and not the actual person. So maybe that's how Jesus was resurrected.
That's possible. You're right.
It was Dr. Sam Beckett leaped into Jesus, died on the cross.
That was his last leap.
Yeah, that was his last leap. We know. We solved it. That is. I think we come out of
the mystery has been solved.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
We all wanted to know what happened to Beckett.
Well, now we know.
Ilya says, for humanity, I would jump into Trump and make him humble and give up re-election. Atheist says, hells yeah, Sarah. Grrr. I don't think I do grrr right. Nerdy says, I'd quantum leap into Dave and ensure that critical questions never happens.
Oh, but I like critical questions. It's fun.
Nerdy, you would rather be doing anything else right now than being in the chat here.
Also,
I want to
Nerdy,
get him on the show.
If it wasn't for critical questions, you wouldn't be writing the fan fiction.
And you do realise, Seraphim, you could very well be a part of this fan fiction now.
She already is.
Bring it on.
As long as it's with Badger, you don't. It's written about you and Badger. You don't mind.
I don't mind that. I'm open.
Mathpig's got to be in the middle.
I would leap into Hitler's mother and have an abortion.
Ooh.
I honestly don't even know if that would have stopped National Socialism in Germany. Honestly,
it probably wouldn't have. Someone else probably would have risen up and done the same thing.
But it would have been satisfying.
It would have.
Yes.
I think that's a big historical misconception. It was all under him, and
yes,
that sort of that kind of right-wing reactionary thing. He was a product of that, as well as
much as created it.
Main. Yes.
But even saying that, you say that, but he was very much the head of the anti-Jew side of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Julius Streicher, even before he joined the Nazis, was pretty bad on, and Ernst Röhm.
Oh, no, it wasn't an unknown sentiment.
No, it was not an unknown. He was not. Hitler didn't introduce Jew baiting into the equation. I honestly don't think much would have changed had he hit. I think there would have been someone else it could have, could have been one of the others who, I'd say, arguably Goebbels or someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Right, Robert says he can't let Nerdy do that, so I think he's going to jump in and stop him. Badger.
Actually, Nerdy, if you need someone to edit the fanfiction, I'll gladly do it. I used to do that for a living.
You used to edit erotic fiction.
I did, yes.
Okay. Matt Pink says
Any recommendations?
What was that?
he needs recommendation.
Oh, these were all horrible. These were all on a an electronic erotica site. The authors were so horrible. It was hilarious though. It was like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old girl wrote everything because the names that came up for genitalia were hilarious.
I do have some really bad erotica around here somewhere, but I don't know where I put it.
I still know plenty of bad erotica.
I would have jumped into the body of former trade union leader Eric Hammond and stopped him from supplying fucking scab labour for Maggie Thatcher during some of the strikes in the 80s.
I have some interesting stories about them. Go on. Sorry.
Sammy Jenkins has turned into Ruby Rose and changed my underwear, so now I have to ask, who's Ruby Rose?
I was wondering
She
that.
is amazingly gorgeous and sexy. I mean, she's an actress.
I'm pretty sure Ruby Rose has been brought up on conversation before here.
What sort of actress?
She was one of the love interests in Orange is the New Black. Was one of her main things. She was like the butch girl at like that Piper screwed over.
She's an Aussie girl, isn't she?
Sammy Sweetness, you can come visit me as Ruby Rose.
Badger.
Yes, I would jump into George.
Wait! No Disney references.
Oh, there
poor
won't be any
Badger.
Disney references after I've done the jump. I will jump into George Lucas in the mid 2000s. I will have him adjust the. I will make subtle adjustments to the plot of the Clone Wars, so that it fits with the Republic Commando series.
So this is before he started retconning shit.
And I will tell Disney to fuck off.
And you forget the inevitable thing that eventually George Lucas is going to die, and someone would have sold it to fucking Disney eventually anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Again, it's one of those. Again, it's one of those things that I think even that would have happened eventually.
I mean, Disney are buying up everything.
Yes, it would have happened eventually.
Yeah.
You basically,
Disney,
you would. The only thing you could probably have done is tried to sell it quicker.
Disney,
to someone else.
You might have got more. Might have asked them for a little bit more money than $4 billion or something. You know.
Hopefully by then.
I would jump into. All right then. I would jump into the head of Disney and I would break up the company.
Then
That might work.
Then Warner Brothers could come and take it and fuck it up instead.
Yeah, I'll break up them too.
Right. Okay. And then CBS are going to come in and buy it and merge it with Star
I'll break
Trek.
up them too.
Just eventually, I'm imagining Badger like in front of a bunch of Star Wars memorabilia, saying like "Say hello to my little friend," like Tony Montoya, Montana.
Say hello to my little friend.
Exactly, and just like shooting them all or something to get them away from his Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. That's what this quantum leap scenario is going to turn into.
Exactly. At least he admits it.
You're aware, right, that everyone else had bold political changes for the world that would make the world better.
Yes. Badger only cares about Star Wars.
You know that earlier question where we talked about the people becoming alcoholics?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my specific statement was, I have to not care about stuff, otherwise I get very sad.
No, Badger just knows that we're all going to take care of all the other shit so he can focus on what matters to him.
I've already got that covered, so I'm saving Star Wars.
You're saving Star Wars.
Yeah, we're covering everything else. He's going to save Star Wars.
Fair enough.
Well, I now have some ideas of what I could do instead. I would leap into the head of Disney, not only buy a Star Wars, but buy Lego and make Lego Star Wars canon.
Yes.
I will come round to your house and I will replace your ears with Jar Jar ears. So,
Oddly enough, not the horrible thing that I thought he was going to say.
To be honest, it's the closest he's ever got to someone he's threatened.
Oh
Listen
no,
up.
I meant Jeff.
Listen off, Jigsaw Badger.
Jeff, please
See,
no.
I did it.
Or
Look,
excuse
I've done
me,
it.
Geoff.
That's your ears
No.
Right, next question, I think. Question 589. Would you rather give or receive a lap dance?
I've done both.
Which would you prefer?
Getting.
I'm kind of uncomfortable either way.
Because
Yes.
with a slap dance, I have to keep my clothes on, and I've mentioned it before. I'm only good with dancing when I'm taking clothes off. So
Oh, this is it.
I'd rather receive a lap dance, but I'd be uncomfortable with both scenarios, but I'd be more uncomfortable giving one.
Yeah, I think, goddamn, we're getting too many similar answers here, Badger. If I had to choose between the two, receiving might be better, but it's not something I feel comfortable with either way.
a good girl, a good woman who does a very good lap dance doesn't have to touch you, so you don't have to worry about being touched. At least.
Either way, it's not. Yeah, either way, it's not particularly something
I can't
I don't
think.
get it.
Right, I can appreciate someone I am dating dancing for me. Right, when I can touch them and I can be part of this process. I cannot think of anything worse than someone I cannot touch or be involved with.
I mean, you can touch the. Well, I was able to touch the girl because reasons. But most of them, if they're really good at it and they know what they're doing, they can do it without touching you.
Yeah, my point being, I would be uncomfortable. It's not that they couldn't do it. It's not my problem with them. My problem is I can't conceive of what I would do.
Just sit there and look uncomfortable.
Yes, that's exactly what I would do.
Maybe
That's what I
I did
fucking
enjoy it because I was able to touch and then we were doing stuff later. So maybe I prefer to give then.
See, I went to I went to a strip club once, and it wasn't a great experience, to be honest. It was loud.
I can't think of anything good about a strip club for me.
It was loud. It was crowded. It was very expensive. The people kept trying to drag me off the room to scam all my money away.
I went to the strip club a couple of times to meet people that I was going to hook up with because it's a safe place and I know some of the girls and they know me and I can tell them, hey, I'm going to this place. If I don't come back in like 2 hours, come find me. So that's why I was there. And one of the girls was like, I like you. One night dance. I'm like, sweet.
See, that's a much better way of looking at it. But my experience of it was I didn't know anyone there. I was there with a group of fucking idiots, and I ended up having a really uncomfortable lap dance where the dancer stood on my hand.
Oh, that's horrible.
I was one on. I've been going on a French stag do, and one person in the party, was being rather fucking embarrassing that he didn't seem to know the difference between lap dancers in a strip club and whores, basically, for lack of a better term.
A lot of people don't, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was fucking embarrassing the way he was carrying on, and I had to fucking leave. I just couldn't, deal. I couldn't fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
And I hate to use the word whore, but that was literally kind of the words he was saying, just to give it some context. But
Right. Ike said receive, Sammy
No,
says
I-
receive. Go on. Sorry.
Definitely give, because I want to be in control of the touching.
I like Ron Swanson's approach to strip clubs.
What's that?
No, I don't like
Steak.
strip clubs, but, I will take a free breakfast buffet anytime, any place.
Would you still go to a buffet after the virus?
Well, after, yeah.
After.
They
But
are
now,
trying to claim that they're going to shut down buffets after the virus, though.
And they can
Yeah.
fuck off.
I know, right?
they'll open back up again relatively quickly.
Of course they will. They're not going to close down because people like them.
Oh no! The
I
point
will
is,
say one thing: certain strip clubs are great for great conversation because some of the strippers are very smart.
I think you have the
I agree
advantage
with,
of being a
but-
girl.
That I agree with, but they don't talk to me.
No.
Partly because I don't go there, and partly because when I do, I'm there as the awkward motherfucker who won't pay for anything.
Matt Pig says, when I sexy dance, Manda laughs like the Edinburgh Comedy Festival.
That's
Not
because
sure
he does
if
the
that's-
helicopter the entire time, probably.
I can picture that.
Exactly.
I feel sorry for you.
Oh no, I'm picturing it again.
Poor Badger.
The beard's going as well.
The beard's going.
And
Oh,
since Jeff is innocent, no one explain to him what helicopter means. We don't want to break him.
Now I've just remembered something I've seen. Right, next question. Question 590. If every time you farted, a kitten died in agony, apparently, would you stop farting?
Dave,
Yeah.
pull my finger.
Now, are we talking
That's
about
my,
like
that's
in
my
general?
answer to that one.
Are we talking about like in general, or the ones that actually happen when you go take a poo?
You can go take a poo, I suppose.
I don't do that anyway, so I don't have to stop. I think it's rude. If I do that, I only do it whenever I go take a poo because I think it's rude. I'm weird.
I am literally not capable of not farting, so the kittens are fucked.
I'm,
Well, everyone has to. I mean,
yes.
your body has to get rid of the gas. There's
They
no
do.
way to completely stop.
I'm convinced that cats are planning to. Now maybe this comes back to irrational prejudices. I don't know, but I'm convinced that cats are secretly plotting against us. And
You're talking about squirrels.
no, I believe it's cats. I believe they're secretly plotting against us to take over the world. And I'm going. If that, if this is what it means, I'm going to go on a diet of like baked beans and stuff. So
Sammy says, I would eat nothing but baked beans and cabbage.
yes,
See, I'd be of the opinion that, I'm sorry, kittens. Whatever. Oh dear. Sorry, kittens, but whatever cruel god has caused this to be your fate should not have linked it to my arse.
And honestly, I'm not saying that because I like kittens, because I fucking love kittens because they're cute.
I like baked beans.
I really do not do that in front of people.
See,
If
this is the
I
thing.
need to, I go to the restroom.
We're not talking about in front of people.
No, it's just in general.
So, like, if you're sleeping and you do it while you're asleep, it kills a kitten.
For the context of this, we're excluding sleep. Because there's no control at all.
Oh, well, again, I don't do that.
Oh, so it's only farts that you do in a controlled way.
No, it's control. It's farts that you could have stopped.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still farting.
So 2 people kill the kittens. Granny?
Like I said, your body has to get rid of the gas. It's not possible to just stop completely. So, yeah.
Kittens die.
Also,
Yeah.
I have a whole video on my channel about how domesticated cats are terrible.
I see. I like kittens, but they have this tendency to grow into cats, who I don't like. So
Nerdy says, I've never farted a kitten. Fair enough. Right, next question. We've only got 3 more left today.
Oh no!
Question.
if you work on the theory that cats have got 9 lives, though, you don't have to worry too much about it.
Well, that just prolongs it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
Next question, Dave.
train yourself to fart more. Right.
Yeah.
Question 591. Should we ever let AI have the ability to kill?
No. Next question.
No, it's a no. That's a simple no, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
No.
You don't think that they can make better decisions than humans?
No, because they're programmed by humans.
I think that if it becomes the purview of AI to make that decision, then any mistakes in that, suddenly you're blaming programmers for it.
Yeah, so the
Well,
programmers
that-
then get shot.
Also,
Yeah,
well, that and like you're gonna have people already terrified of it.
But the programmers are in a very difficult position then, because they go through the programming, but any little mistake they make in the code or any oversight in the scenarios that they use to make these decisions, and they're suddenly...
It's okay. What all the programmers are going to do is blame the operating system programmers.
yeah, so then we'll
And
just
then
end
also
up
it's
lining
acceptable
all
to
the
people getting
programmers
into it
against
and
the wall
changing
setting
it.
the
Yeah.
AI on them.
That's fine. I'm fine with that as long as it's not the middle programmers.
We'll end up just lining all of the programmers up against the wall and turning the AI on.
I might have a problem with that.
So I
Apparently
think no.
no. See, I think yes. Nerdy thinks yes. Sammy thinks no.
My no is because it's also susceptible to people getting into it and changing it and making it to where it goes fucking insane.
Mathpick says, "Okay, Dave, are you Skynet? Is this how you do it?"
I think he is.
You think I
That's
am?
why he's got no body.
We're on to you, Dave.
But it might. But see, if it's something like Skynet, it might actually be working on a logical basis that humans are a fucking parasite on this earth. And
Yes.
might try to
Which they
wipe
are.
us out, which we fucking are in fairness.
By lots of definitions, yes.
Like that flipping quote in the Matrix about humans being a virus, you know?
Yes.
Oh, so we're Corona? Oh shit.
Right. Next question. Question 592. Would you rather have a time machine that can only go back in time, or a time machine that can only go forward in time?
Now this creates a bit of an issue here, because if you said it can only go back in time, it means you can't go back to the present day, right?
Yeah. Unless time is circular.
Oh, you can wait till the future and then come back to the present day.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Yeah, you can come back to the present day if you're immortal.
Just
Well-
wait a few weeks and then go back a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You always go. I think people are going to be inclined to want to correct things they've done or whatever. I think the general tendency is to go back in time. As curious as the future might be.
I'm gonna say go forward in time until I can find out a way to become immortal and just continue living on. Because I want to learn all the stuff.
All the stuff.
All the stuff. All the things.
Now, I'm an avid enjoyer of steampunk, so back in time.
Back in time. Kelly?
But I'd go back in time with like a collection of current technology, but all steampunked up so that it would blend in.
Oh,
And,
that's an amazing idea.
And then I would play the role of the sort of mad inventor.
I saw an interesting post on Facebook recently that said the virus is proof that a time machine will never be invented, because if it was, somebody would have come back and warned us about this.
Or they probably did and they killed him.
You know, there's people in our time who warned us about this shit. It wouldn't have fucking made a
The
difference.
Simpsons warned us about it. Probably.
Yeah. The point is we've had studies. We've fully understood this for the last 60 years now, as to how it would progress, how it would come out, and what we would have to do. And we ignored it all.
We're just sitting listening to it.
What do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? Irrelevant.
No one likes the space-time continuum.
Manda says, back in time. I know what's in store for this planet. Don't need to see it. Nerdy says, I've got a time machine that only goes forward at the moment. It goes forward at the rate of 1 second a second.
See, I'd like to say I'd like to move forward to a time when Southampton are going to win a fucking trophy, but I think human civilization will be dead before that happens.
I think the sun might have burnt out before that.
Yes.
Get yourself a gun. Start taking out the other teams. It's going to be your only option.
Now that's a discussion topic for a later thing, Dave.
There we are. That could be a debate for Badger's. That could be a debate for Badger's channel. Should
Should guns be allowed?
Should guns be allowed in sports
guns
events?
be allowed in sports stadiums? Yes, I think that's a very interesting topic, Badger.
I think it depends on the team, really.
If you know what you could do. You've done it. You've solved the problem. Half a dozen snipers around the top of the stadium, and the audience. Do they call them an audience? The crowd get to vote on who the snipers next take a shot at. Then see how well the players play.
See, I don't know that I'd be going after the players. There's probably one or two fans I'd target first.
See, I'd borrow the football snipers and take them to Disney.
No,
you just want to shoot the people in the Mickey outfits.
Are you going after the executives?
I would say it would be a novel approach to deal with football hooliganism.
It's not the people in the Mickey outfits' fault, though. If they're just paid to be there.
It's Mickey himself who's the problem.
Yep. All right, back in a sec.
You think he's gone to do it?
Probably. We've given him an idea. He's plotting.
Right.
Again, I think this is going to be a go back in time and stop Disney from buying Star Wars solution. With Badger's answer here. Yeah.
Right. The last question today. Question 593. Would you rather be an ugly genius or a hot moron?
Seeing as I'm neither.
I'm currently an ugly moron, so.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So.
That's easy.
That's your
Ugly
opinion.
genius. I would definitely prefer to have more intelligence.
Yeah, I'll go with ugly genius. I'm already ugly enough. I'd rather be smart and ugly than hot.
I'd tend to be smart and hot.
Stupid.
You want to be... No, smart and hot wasn't an option.
I said I'd sooner be smart than hot.
Oh, sorry.
But if you're smart enough, you can make a lot of money and you can get like plastic surgery to be awesome.
I couldn't honestly give a flying fuck about what people thought of my looks anyway. I really couldn't.
My thing is, in my personal opinion, I am hideous. But I know that there are lots of people that disagree with me on that, and I respect their opinions. And I like their opinions, actually.
You find it affirming?
We're talking about how hot Jeff is.
Are we?
Is there a new question?
Yes.
Apparently.
What's the question?
Would you rather be an ugly genius or a hot moron?
Oh, hot moron. Knowing what's going on makes you sad.
That's the only thing that makes me want to pick that.
That's true. Because if I was a hot moron, I could just, like, forget the shit.
A lot less to worry about.
Exactly.
Hi, Jen.
Yeah. Problem with me is that I got hit a few times. And the ugly stick said, "No, no more, please."
The ugly stick said.
I don't know, I'm quite on like Red's rhetoric's kind of level yet, but you know.
So basically, everyone apart from Badger is going for intelligence.
I mean, hearing him say that has kind of made me
Yeah, I mean,
hate it. Because I'm like,
I know it's the whole you can think the whole ignorance is bliss kind of thing there, and that could, but no, honestly not, because I to be one of us, the biggest fucking turn off to me is stupidity anyway. So why would I want to be fucking dumb myself?
That's true. See, that's the other thing. But the thing about it is, if you're dumb, you don't know it. You wouldn't know about any of this shit. You would just be a dumbass.
Yes.
I might arguably be already, but maybe not in my own mind. But...
Nerdy says, I'm already an ugly genius. Sammy says, ugly genius, then invent myself beautiful.
See, Sammy agrees with me, though.
Jen says, I go with ugly. And that's
I'd be an ugly genius just to fucking shoot or just to sort of shoot a myth on this whole thing. Oh, it's not about looks, it's about like intelligence and personality and that. Like, yeah, fuck off.
Who says you get a personality?
Bullshit.
Either way.
Yeah.
Right. On that
I
note,
call bullshit on that thing. I'm sorry, I do. So.
It is. On that note, we shall say goodbye to everyone and say thank you very much to Godless Granny,
Thank you.
to Seraphim Hyde,
Toodles.
to Godless Scummer,
Oi, oi. See you later.
to BadTemperedBadger,
Yes, indeed.
and thank
I
you
thought you
very
was
much. What?
I thought he was bad-tempered womble for this stream.
I was tempted.
Again, I can't think of that word without an insult, so no.
And thank you very much to absolutely everyone in the chat. There will be no show tomorrow because I've got to drive somewhere horrid. But
You're going to Portsmouth?
worse.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I'll have to find something else to distract me while I'm working.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad, yeah. That's pretty fucking bad.
But there will be a show on Saturday. So I hope to see you all then. Bye!
Right.